Students, whatever homework is given to you, you have to submit it on the very next day between 8 am to 1 pm to the given WhatsApp number, and it is compulsory to submit your homework as your attendance will be marked on the basis of your submission.
Hello, good morning students. Today we are going to learn the fourth lesson of 10th standard social science, literary heritage of India. Dear students, in this session we are going to study the ancient universities of India. Friends, as we know that into the past, India was very famous for the knowledge hub. It is known as the knowledge hub. And the people and the students from all over the world, they came to India for the study. Dear students, this shows the glory of our Indian culture. In India, there were four universities which provided the knowledge for the students. And the reputation of these four universities that were so much all over the world, the people attracted and they came here for the education. So let us start one of them, Nalanda. Nalanda University. It was situated at Bandgaon village of Patna in Bihar. It was such a big university that it was divided into the 7 huge halls. This shows the greatness of the university Nalanda. Dear friends, there were so many students. They came here for the study. And there were 300 rooms for delivering lectures. Dear student, this shows the greatness of this university. That 300 rooms only for delivering the lecture. The king, there were special monasteries that were built in Nalanda so that the students who came from abroad, they could stay there. They could get educated there. In 5th century, Kumar Gupta, he had made a special monastery at there. And since then, the fame of this university that rise. Many villages, they were donated to this university so that the university could survive. University could provide a lot of things to their students, and that is why the villages that were donated, the clothing, the food that was provided free of cost. There would not be charged for the food and the clothes, and the expense of all these that is given by the villages. It was such a big university, and there were so many books. The books that were kept at there, the place of them known as the Dharma. Today we can say library. In these universities, there were so many books, and it was kept at a place, the place that is known as Dharma. In 5th to 11th century, during the 5th to 11th century, Nalanda University was a reputed center for the knowledge. The fame of Nalanda University flourished all over the world. It was a pious place for our Indian culture. The people, the student who studied at the Nalanda University, he was considered a great. The more important, one major thing of this university is that the more importance that is given the Buddhism and Jainism. The student, as we know, that the universities that were built into the Gupta ones, and during that time, the Buddhism and Jainism. That was the peak. And so the more importance that is given on Buddhism and Jainism. It is said that Bhagwan Mahavir Swami, he was stayed there and he had done 14 Chaturmas at Nalanda University. And that is why it became a pilgrimage for them. There were more than 1,000 manuscripts, and it was the best place for the education. It is said the books of these universities that was the world famous. This is about Nalanda University. Now, dear students, let's look at the another universities of Taxila. The fame of the Taxila universities that was as well as the Nalanda universities. Taxila universities that was located at Rawalpindi of the present Pakistan. It was the capital city of the ancient Gandhar region. The educations at there, that is also the best. The university imparted education in 64 subjects. There were so many subjects that were taught in this university. The students study in these universities. They have to stay in ashram and they practiced with the Guru. Here, the education that was also free, and all the needs of the student that was provided free of cost. The student, they were free to study of their choice. The student, they could study the subject in which they were interested. There were no botherations for selecting the subject. It is believed that the name of this university, Taxila, that was on the name of the king Tux. The king Tux, he was the son of Bharat and he was the brother of King Ramchandra. He had made these villages, and on the name of this Bharat's son, Tux, the university that is named Taxila. The great Sanskrit grammarian Panini, who has written a great book on Sanskrit grammar, he had taken his education in this university. Besides Panini, one another persons, the composer of the Ayurveda. The composer of Arthashastra, Kautilya, he has also taken education in this Taxila University. He had made the Arthashastra the greatest book on the management. He was the mentor of Chandragupta Maurya. Actually, Taxila was the higher center of the education scale. It is called the higher education. It was the center for the higher education. So dear students, this is for the Taxila. Now our next university, that is of Valpi University. It was also famous as the Nalanda University and Taxila University. This university, Valpi, presently it is known as Valpi. Presently it is known as Valpi. It was located in Bhavnagar district in Gujarat. It was a very famous education center, and the students from various places of the India, they came here for the education. It was in the past it was the capital city and it was the international port from 480 to 775. The trade at the international level that had been done into the world trade. This shows the greatness of the world university. And at that he formed the World University. The ruler of World Universities or the ruler of the World that belonged to the Maitreya dynasty. The king of the World they were believed they were believed in the God. They were not believed into the Buddhism and Jainism. But yet they have supported to establish the World University. They all were from the Maitreya dynasties. In 775, the Arab attacked and defeated Maitreya dynasty. They stood on, as we saw earlier, it was the international port. And the Arabs, they came there and they attacked on the Maitreya dynasty and defeated them. And since then, this led to the closure of universities. The Brahmin students from the areas of the Ganga and Yamuna, they came here for the education. It was the place for the higher education. And the great Buddhist scholar Tirumati and Gurmati, they were the principal of this university. Now look at the fourth universities, the Varanasi universities, the Kashi universities, Kashi Vishwavidyapith. It was a very famous place for the education as well as the pilgrimage. To even today, Kashi, the Varanasi, that was very famous for the pilgrimage. It was also famous for the education into the past. The people they came from all over the India to study here. Actually, this Varanasi that was grew as a religious from the time of the Aryans. It grew as a religious place from the Aryans, from the time of the Aryans. And even the king of Varanasi, they were great supporters for the education. They have supported a lot for the education, and that made the Varanasi universities reaching its height. Lord Buddha, he chose Varanasi for preaching as a place. So dear student, these are 4 universities of our ancient India, and they all were known as the education hub all over the world.